Pirate Radio. Now listen, guys. I noticed like the energy been off lately. Like real off. Like during good times and hype times. You know, the times when you're supposed to be enjoying things and stuff like that. A lot of people still be miserable and end up creating situations for themselves where they put themselves in jeopardy. I'm noticing that. So, starting to feel like the need for this game is like real strong right now. Like the need for it. Because you got some people out here doing some crazy stuff and they thinking it's off, like, because they ain't got nobody to school them, teach them anything. And the craziest thing about it is the older generation are the ones instilling these crazy ideas in these people's mind, in the younger generation mind. Now, before it was if you want some game or you want to get some know-how about something or whatever, you go to an older person, just kick it with them. They teach you some stuff, teach you how to do some stuff. But nowadays, a lot of times that's not even real. That's not even true. Because you gotta remember, a lot of these grandparents that's out here in our time, right now, a lot of these grandparents out here was or are on drugs. They broke and they out here begging everybody for money. They come up, all of a sudden, let's say you get a little $30,000, something like that, whatever, and they end up broke a couple weeks later. I get what I'm saying. Still got the same bills. Matter of fact, probably even got more bills now. And that's because they game goofy. They ain't got no game. And the need for the game is at an all-time high right now. Some real thorough game. You know what I'm saying? But right now, what you got going on is a whole bunch of scamming. Scamming and scheming. And then on top of it, their mind's not even right. So therefore, they can't even do that right. You feel me? So even their scams and schemes be messed up. And then a lot of these parents are on drugs. Some type of form of narcotic. So, a lot of them, they mind not even right all the time. And that's what's crazy about it. That's what crazy about it. You see, back in the day, the reason why it was so much game and so much thorough game because you had scholars. You get what I'm saying? The first part of the game is natural ability, right? You leaning on your natural abilities, your powers. You figure out that you got some type of powers, and you start learning how to use them and things like that, like your communication, your intuitiveness, certain things like that. Then after you develop that or play around with it, learn how to use it, or try to figure out how to use it and things like that, you start your search. That's when you start your journey in the game. You start looking and trying to figure out what you're missing and things like that, or what you need to know, or how to do certain things and stuff like that. Start developing your plan and putting your plays together and stuff. And then while you're doing that, you start your scholaring, you start your studies. That what leads to your studies and you training and you reading and things like that. But nowadays, you got these people who don't want to do none of that. None of that. That's why today's episode is about, do you really want to be broke? Do you really want to be broke? Now, you gotta you gotta determine if you want to make money out here, if you want to be rich. You gotta figure out what you're willing to do and do it. The application of knowledge is powerful. It's one thing to know how to do something. It's another thing to figure out how to apply it and actually apply it. Now, a lot of people waste time and don't want to apply the knowledge that they learned over the years, not realizing that that's what's gonna make them rich. You get what I'm saying? So they don't really want to be rich. They really want to be broke. You got a lot of people who just keep going on, struggling, and they get stuck in this struggle, and they like the struggle. They feel like they thrive in the struggle. Like everything going good and positive. And then they have to create a situation where they have to struggle, where they want to struggle. You get what I'm saying? And they don't want to do nothing extra to make it in life. not just to make it to thrive. Because in order to get more, a lot of times you got to put out more. And then sometimes you don't even got to put out more. You just got to put out the right thing, the right amount of energy. You got to put out the right strategy. But they don't have any strategies. They don't have anything to lead them to greatness. I get what I'm saying. Which is crazy. Because all they gotta do is start going on their journey. Their journey of knowledge and power, and then go on their journey of applying it. That's it. It's nothing more. Like, for instance, with YouTube. All they gotta do is just start filming and making videos and communicate with the audience. Even if they don't have an audience, just communicate with the audience. Put a picture in their mind of somebody that they talking to and communicate with that person. And eventually that type of person is gonna show up. And then the type of person who's a duplicate of that person is gonna show up. And then more and more of that person gonna show up. And then people that's related, like relative to that group of people who can relate to that group of people, are gonna show up. And just keep communicating. Eventually you start getting better and better and better and better. That's the application of applying, learning out what's your superpower, starting off with figuring out your superpower, what you're good at, and applying it. And then you go into studying and learning what you got to do, learn some more techniques and some strategies. And then you go to applying it. Then what happens is that you just start coming up. As long as you're willing to put in that work. I'm right now, it's like this is how it is right now. It's like the Google era, like the beginning of Google. It's like the beginning of Bitcoin right now. I'm seeing it happening again. In technology. I'm seeing it happening in the game itself. From the standpoint of like one avenue transitioning to another avenue, different channels. I'm seeing different channels opening up. Channels meaning like platforms and ways of putting things out. The word channel actually comes from the seas when you were on ships and stuff like that, and then you going into channels, things like that, different flows of traffic, different flows of revenue, the different channels is actually a marketing and business term, channels. like radio, TV, internet, and then the channels on there also, like Facebook. You get what I'm saying? But right now, we have a whole bunch of new technologies, a whole bunch of new stuff going on. And I'm watching people literally hearing about it. People getting begged to pay attention to it. Like it's begging you to pay attention and to grasp it right now. And a lot of people don't even care. They don't even care. They just walking around just losing everything. And they fall into a victimhood mentality like, oh, these people don't understand. These people not trying to help me. They don't care. I'm not gonna pay them their money. Oh, I'm gonna do this instead. Stuff. And a lot of people just drinking and getting high, and out here just going like the junk is because there's no game. It's no fundamental game, and a lot of people are coming out of these religious institutions also and not having no nothing. Well, I mean, coming out of the religious institution, meaning that they were in some type of religious institution, like church, synagogue, or whatever, these generations. And now they don't have no fundamental base knowledge or understanding. They don't have no anchor, no grounding to God, also. And they're just out here doing any and everything. It's saying stuff and just thinking that they're right. And they're literally wrong. And will fight you for their views on life that are completely wrong. Like, their mind is gone. They mentally are not there. They think they're mentally there, but they're not. And then the sad thing about it is that they're being taught by the same people that got these viewpoints that are wrong. Oh, guys, I'll be right back. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, these people out here begging, right? And they getting mad when somebody say no. They getting mad when somebody not able to help or give them what they want. And the sad thing about it is they don't realize that the people they asking is in the same boat as them. That's like you being on a ship and everything good, everybody partying and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, the boat start going down and sinking. And they looking at the person next to them like, Well, get me off the ship. Save me. Help me get off the ship. And they're like, well, I ain't got no lifeboat. I ain't got no way off the ship. I'm on the ship with you. And you could have got me off the ship. You had this, you had that. You could did this, that, and third. But they both drowning. And person looking at them like, well, if I could have did that, I'll be safe myself. I wouldn't be out here drowning with you. And that's what's crazy. But when you get the knowledge and you start understanding knowledge and you start applying the knowledge, you end up in a better position, man. This junk is crazy. These people really don't got no game out here. So you about to see a lot of crazy stuff happening. Stuff you wouldn't believe happens. Like people being out their mind, going crazy. Talking crazy, looking crazy. It's a whole bunch of nonsense. I'm seeing people get upset and talk down on people who got money. They mad at somebody for working and doing what they want to do and making money, and other people out here getting mad at them and trying to tell them what they should do with their money. And they ain't got no money. Tell them they should give all their money away. You should be ashamed of yourself. You spending all that money on that car when you could have fed some people or something. You should be ashamed. You should just give all your money away. Because there's people out here struggling. And that's the sad thing about it, is that they don't even understand that the person is struggling because something literally wrong with that person. You see, you got two different types of people in this situation. And the one I'm focusing on is the one who got all the opportunity in the world to better themselves and won't better themselves. Got all the opportunity in the world. They got more opportunity than anybody before them. And now they got a whole new field, a whole new world of opportunity. And they won't even look into it. They don't even want to focus on it. If you broke, I know life is going on, but if you broke and you tired of being tired, you tired of being broke, you should throw as much time as possible into these new opportunities. Taking time to learn it. Taking time to develop skills in it. Mastering your old skills and fine tuning them, matching with these new skills. The old skills is marketing, promotion, sales, communication, things of that nature. Those old concrete skills, those fundamental skills. But then like graphic design, 3D rendering, computer programming, things of that nature, business structure, all these skills, putting them together, coming up with a formula. This is what they need to do. And they're not taking the time to do it. Not taking the time at all to do it. And don't understand how important it is. And not trying to understand, not even trying to understand what's going on. Like, I'm seeing this gap spread further and further. And this is crazy. You could only see something happen so many times before you be like, you know what? I need to pay attention to this. I need to get into this. One of those things that's happening is this blockchain technology. And what they're doing with it. Yeah, you got your people who scared. Yeah, you got your people who understand the control that it may take over and things like that. They have control over you by certain entities, but they're not taking the time to actually learn it and figure it out and think about how to apply it and how they can use it ahead of the curve, ahead of everybody else, so they can establish themselves as a leader in it. Even like with NFTs, they not understanding how to create an NFT that could be used, a utility, or something that is like entertaining, anything like that, or down that road, NFT creation. They're not understanding it. They don't even care. They don't even realize that they just missed out on a whole bunch of money already. In 1 year, I seen billions of dollars being made. In 1 year, I literally witnessed an NFT sell for $3,000 and then resell for $125,000 around that price point in 1 day. It wasn't even 1 day. It was within a couple hours. Not saying that you should get into NFTs. What I'm saying is you have to look and search for the opportunities. You have to study and train and get these skills. You got to be a scholar. You got to read. You got to apply the game. Like, I don't understand what's going on. This is like the furthest thing away from their brain. It's like they just try and make it from day to day. And instead of planning their life and doing things in their life that's stable, create some type of stability, going through the different phases in a financial plan that I already laid out is on here. So getting some real game. It's like they just out here going crazy. And it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm starving, and this dude got the money, and I need money for this, that, and third, so I'm gonna take his money. Like, we just seen a whole scamming epidemic. But I understand a lot of people not worthy of the game. And now it's to the point where it's more people that's not worthy of the game. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot more people that's not worthy of the game than there is of people that's worthy of the game. And a lot of people who's not worthy of the game are getting upset and trying to take out everybody who got the game. Instead of sitting here and creating an opportunity, creating an environment for themselves, creating some type of stability for themselves, and making themselves worthy of the game. They're not trying to even make themselves worthy of the game. They're not trying to go through the growing pains. And they want to stay in this level of struggle and suffering. And the sad thing about it is, if you're around these people, they're going to bring you down too. And if they can't bring you down, what they try to do is hurt you. And you got to remember, it's because of this up here. They mind what they thinking. I know this one dude, right? He in a situation where he got a car, the car broke down and stuff like that. So the girl ended up getting a car, you know, and for some reason in her mind, she feels like it's his responsibility to take care of her car. For some reason, in her mind, because he's not going all out for her car. Now he drives the car and stuff like that, but only because she wants him to drive the car, drive her around here, there, and all this stuff. Because when he want to use the car for itself to do something, she gets an attitude and get upset about it. She be feeling some way about it. But and somehow she developed the thought process that he's jealous of her and her car. But they're in a relationship together. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. If you're in a relationship with somebody and he doing all this stuff for you, why is he jealous? He is not jealous. Because from the outside looking in, She the one who's mad all the time and upset. He out trying to live his best life, you know, focusing on the future, trying to build stability for their family or what have you, trying to come up and do things and stuff like that. And she not paying attention to it. She don't even care. All she can think about is that she really doing her thing, but she in a mentality of she's struggling. And he's the one who's making all the money and doing all the stuff for her. But in her mind, she's struggling and she needs this and she can't do that and da da da. And when really she need to be working with him and sitting back and learning the game and running the play. Because I'm telling you, if she was to do that, they'll make millions of dollars. But what's going to end up happening is that if she doesn't, he's going to end up working with some other people. And she's going to be mad and upset with her panties in a bunch and feel some type of way. And he's going to make millions of dollars with them other people. And she's going to be highly upset. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Instead of understanding what's going on and learning and figuring it out, you get mad. They get mad. Like, this is crazy. Because what's going to happen is he's going to have to go out of town with these people, go on trips with these people, network with different people and things like that. And they didn't even start up yet, and she already got mad. She already mad. And in her mind, she thinking like, oh, we supposed to be in this little box, and we just going to do what we do, and he don't know what he doing. Well, she working at this penny ante job, and wondering why she's struggling. Wondering why she feel like she's struggling. When he out making money, got his free time, spend time with his family, creating new stuff, creating new technologies, working with different people, and she's getting upset. She's getting mad because of it. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, you probably do. It's ridiculous out here, man. I'm seeing people with all the education in the world not doing nothing with it. I'm seeing people who don't even want to educate themselves further. Because education don't just stop at school. When you get in school or you coming out of school and stuff like that, it continues on. You gotta further your education. You always gotta learn something new or learn more of something. And these people not even trying to do that. They're not even trying to do this. And it's sad because the real game is right in front of you. The real game is like right in front of you. That's what's crazy about it. They act like it's being done behind their back or somebody sneaking doing this and all this stuff, whatever, and they sneaking around. And no, it's right in front of you. It's just you don't want to pay attention to it or understand it or think that's real. Now listen, I'm gonna give you one strategy that I've seen happen. It's a strategy. It's one guy was dead broke and poor. He was homeless. He picked up and moved from where he was, and when he got to where he was homeless. Then he went and got on assistance, government programs. Ended up getting on his feet a little bit. This whole time as he was homeless and getting on his feet, he was spending a lot of his time in the library, reading, studying, learning new things. He was out communicating with people, studying, learning new things, gaining and learning more information, getting knowledge and things like that. Getting the game, learning about strategies and things like that. Got up on his feet, kept studying, learning the game. Got the internet in his house. Got some pads and some paper. And started writing a book on dating. Started writing a book on dating. Because he was learning so much game about relationships and history and things like this nature and stuff like that. He was learning so much, you know what I'm saying, that he had a treasure trove of knowledge and understanding, and he was applying so much that he got good at dating and different things in his life, and he started writing a book. Then he started finding out about new technologies and stuff like that also at the same time. And so it came along as a podcast. But at the time, it wasn't necessarily called a podcast. And then he started learning how it worked. And he started using it to promote his book that he written and created. And as he was using it to promote his book, he was spitting the game that he was learning, that he knew, and that he applied to his life and things like that. He started teaching the game. The plays and the moves that he was making, and start giving game on relationships and stuff like that. And as he's doing this, he's learning, he's developing more game, he's still studying, His book ended up being a #1 bestseller. Now he on talk shows promoting his book. He's meeting new people, networking, learning more game, figuring out how to apply it, promoting the show, promoting his book. Then he write another book. Because he's getting so much game and knowledge and understanding from the application of the game that he's learning. He writes another book. Then he writes another book. So now he's 3 books in and got a podcast. And he's like, oh, let me take this game and actually put it into a visual. Let me make a DVD. So he makes a DVD about it, about the books that he wrote and stuff, actually showing you visuals. He made it comedic, but the underlying message was the game and itself that he learned and was applying. That took off. Then he started doing pay-per-view shows, pay-per-view audios that you pay for. Now you pay for these shows. Like, yeah, I'm going to do the podcast out there for free, but these extra ones with a little bit more game in it, you pay me $10 for it. Now what he has accomplished is creating multiple streams of income. He in one field, but he creating multiple streams of income in that field, creating products. Because he's learning the game on how to do this stuff, and he's doing it. A couple years later, the temperament of the environment started changing. He started getting older, more wiser. He's still studying, still applying the game, still learning more game. And then he takes a transition and pivot. And he start making more movies and documentaries. And he keep writing more and more books. So it's compounding assets. His assets are starting to compound. And they're out making money for him. To this day, they keep making money for him. And they keep exploring and trying to go different avenues and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And applying the game that he's learning and keep learning more game. You see the cycle? Staying focused and just not veering off. Now, his environment's starting to change. And he ends up moving into a better house. Because the timing of how you do things is very important. See, what they don't know is that the whole time he was doing this, he was living below his means. Because he was living in an apartment. Then he moved into a little better house, whatever, a little better place. You get what I'm saying? Because of the game he learning, it makes him do this. As he applying it, he taking the game he learning and applying it. He's pivot from all that since he got older and wiser. It started speaking about racial issues, development, politics. You get what I'm saying? And the more he learning, the more he expressing, more application he making. So now he got a whole bunch of movies that he directed. He got a whole bunch of books. He got his podcast still. He got 2 shows. You got a live show and a podcast. That's live. And he making millions. And when he started, he was homeless. It didn't just happen overnight. He's way older now. But he was homeless when he started. And he just learned a very simple formula and just kept applying it. He learned a whole bunch of very simple formulas. Live below your means. Create assets out of nothing. Marketing. Promotion. Sales. Find a way for your assets to market and promote themselves and each other. Because you gotta remember, his podcast was a marketing strategy, but his podcast still makes some money. Do y'all understand? Simple. I have a whole bunch of examples and stories of things like that. But the question is, do you really want to be broke? Do people really want to be broke? Because a lot of these people really do want to be broke. But if you tell them they could take that and apply it, that very simple game, very simple game. They got all the time in the world. They ain't got no job. They broke. Instead of spending their time studying and learning some game and applying it and doing something about it, their situation, things like that. Focusing on it. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, King J Smooth, this is the episode of Empire Radio, man. We got one out. We gotta start doing more podcasts and more shows, man. I took down all the other ones because I believe that the temperament of the time and all the gang goofy people, they just take it and run with it, and they just try to criminalize everybody. So I gotta make it like this for them, and this is what's upsetting, is that this is gonna make people upset. People are gonna be offended by this. And I didn't say anything wrong. They're not gonna take the knowledge and apply it. What they're gonna do is just get mad. Like I was saying, because they really do want to be broke. Deep down inside, they want to be broke. And it's up to them to change how they feel about money and their situation. But anyway, I'll holler at you guys. Peace out, Royal Family.